Good morning, everyone. It is 8:32 and it is the October 27th meeting of the Master Plan Committee. Let's have a roll call. Karen Clement.
Present.
Thanks. Don Hayes.
Present.
Bill Rideout.
Present.
And I am Kim Craven. And we also have Beth Faxton from Town Hall with us this morning. So the first order of business, an addition and deletion. We do have one. Beth had sent me a document yesterday to look over for the MRPC, which we can address right after we do the minutes. So the past minutes, Karen had sent them out. We had sent them out before we were going to meet on September 8th. But I did resend them for everybody if everyone's had a chance to look at them. If not, if you could take just a quick minute to review them. Does anyone have any addition, deletions, or questions? If not, we'll need a motion to approve.
I motion to approve the minutes as written for September 1st, 2021. Second.
Thanks, Don. All in favor? Karen?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
And I am in favor as well, so that motion carries. So now if we could just take a look at what Beth had asked us about. It's really just the DLTA contract, the services that were provided to us. I think, Beth, I had, I want to feel like in July we did this as well. So are you just looking for anything new that's happened?
I'm actually looking for a detailed response to each one of the tasks, dates, times when those occurred.
Okay.
I noticed there's meetings on there, and there's a review meeting for the draft maps, and just a detailed date line so I can kind of wrap it up. You know, if it is wrapped up, I just don't know what the status is from the Master Plan Committee's point of view. So I don't know if members have reviewed the scope of work, or has it been pretty much on your desk, or have you been looking at it? And
so this document we had sent back. I like I said, I want to say it was in July for everything up through July. And then the only thing outstanding was the review, which has been, completed up to this time frame.
Oh, okay. Could you resend me that? I don't remember. Okay, I do remember an email. Did it have details on the dates that the tasks were completed, or whether they're completed or not? That's kind of what I'm looking for, is like the nuts and bolts, so I can file it.
So we had said, like, the kickoff meeting had been done, the mapping had been done, they had sent us drafts, and they did us the completed. They had made all the changes to the maps, and it was just the review of the document that was outstanding.
Okay.
And so now, they've reviewed it in segments, and or actually the whole document up till that point that we had sent it to them. So now it's just the final review. So I can certainly put that into an email as follow-up to the first email, and just want to see if any committee members have any questions about the document, the deliverables, or anything to add for Beth's report.
Yeah, some sort of a more formal than an email, if you would, a status report similar to what MRPC would issue on their end, if you could, with some sort of dates and times, and what, maybe what maps you received. It would be nice just for the files, because when we pick up the master plan again, all this documented would be great, you know, for our just for the office files, if you would. So what maps were reviewed, what dates were, you know, you reviewed them with in a master plan committee meeting. I didn't, you know, was that agended? So I just like, please just go through the scope with the fine tooth comb and give me a detailed update so I can, you know, just make sure that we're doing
Yeah.
what we've agreed to in terms of
Sure.
the
I mean,
DLTA.
we can definitely do that. I mean, we did
Mhm.
a complete review online showing each maps, going through each one. So
Perfect. Perfect.
definitely would have been
Yeah.
easier if we knew you wanted us to write the dates down when we were doing it. But
Well, if it was in a meeting, then it's agended and it would
yes,
be, so you know, it's
yeah,
just a
we're just
matter
gonna
of,
flip back through them. Yeah, no
yeah,
problem.
just trying
And
to keep a real close eye on that contract.
sure,
Thank
and I can
you.
take a screenshot of all the maps delivered so that you have a list. I'm not, you know,
Yeah, and as far as the rest of the status update, if you could, what is MRPC expected to receive? Did they receive the water chapter? Did they receive the open space and recreation chapter? You know, if you could, just a general update, because the deadline for that contract is December 31st. And I haven't received any, well, the status update from MRPC, I think we need to discuss further because there is, I don't know exactly what they feel is outstanding. So I really want to make sure that we know what we
okay.
expect
Yeah,
going forward.
I think it's just the final review. What
Okay.
does other folks from the committee think that we're expecting at this point from MRPC?
Yeah, I assumed that the maps were done and that it was just send them the final review of the final document, which was the two major parts of the contract.
So you have sent the final draft version 1 that has been reviewed, and I am assuming they will expect final draft version 2 for an additional review. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Which is the draft that we're discussing today to send to planning board and MRPC.
Oh, fantastic. All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. For general discussion, I didn't necessarily have anything. Does anyone have anything in the general discussion? Okay. Let's go for the draft for final review. I had sent out the draft to everybody and sort of assigned the chapters for everyone to review for typos and such. I have Cynthia's and Karen's and mine, and Bill's is spinning in cyberspace right now, but I'll get that. I didn't hear from Andrea on the housing chapter. Didn't hear from Todd on circulation and transportation. So there's a couple things. Don, in there, I had asked if you and Todd were able to get me some bullets for the water recommendations. So seeing that we're in the meeting, I would suggest that we just all go to that chapter because I want to get this off to planning board. You know, if there's some grammatical changes and stuff that we still need to make, that's one thing, but I don't want to change it. I don't want to send it without the recommendations in there. And so I want to put that on our to-do list today, if everyone is okay with that.
That's fine.
And then I just wanted to have the opportunity for everyone to kind of weigh in chapter by chapter if there were general questions. So let me go to the start of the document. I'm going to go through the table of contents. And if someone has questions, then we can go to that section. Does that make some sense?
Sounds good.
Okay. And so the first part would be just about the master plan that has the information, on the state requirements for the master plan, that it's the planning board responsible for this process. Any questions about that chapter? Okay. The community vision and policies, that's essentially taking a look at what Townsend wants to be, and then how the implementation basically of the master plan would go, not the implementation itself, but sort of what lens people should look through when reviewing the master plan and executing on some of the recommendations. Any questions about that?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't looked at it very carefully, but I'm glancing at it as you talk. But
Okay, so do you feel that you want to wait and have another meeting prior to sending it to the planning board?
no, I mean, it's so similar. We've seen this before, so
Okay,
unless something jumps out.
okay. And then the next section is about the town of Townsend. The next is the history of Townsend. The next chapter is the services and facilities. The next is the natural and cultural resources. The next is the climate adaptation plan, which is part of that. I'll actually decrease the level of that on the table of contents.
Excuse me, Kim,
Yes.
do you need any screen sharing?
Would you guys prefer that I screen share this, or are you guys following along?
I think it's easier for me to follow in my own document because then I can look at what I want to look at.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. I've got two documents up at the same time looking at it. So to do that screen sharing, I'm not that skilled.
Yeah.
Okay, so no screen sharing for now.
Yeah, no screen
Okay.
sharing for now. Thanks.
Thank you.
Then we have the open space and recreation, economic development, transportation and circulation, the housing, land use and zoning.
And the only comments I'm sending you are strictly, I didn't understand this sentence. So
Okay. Which is fine. And then the implementation.
Okay.
So that's the chapter that is new for everybody to kind of review and look at. If there's additions, deletions, changes, if you don't like the setup.
give us a minute to look at that.
Absolutely.
Okay, and Kim, I'm sorry, I didn't get you back the changes. I was doing it this morning, so I've got either changes or recommendations, questions about formatting and things in the economic development.
Okay. Is there anything of substance, or is it just things that we can take a vote to make the typo corrections out of session, correct sentence wording or something?
It's mostly typo and formats. It's kind of,
Okay, if there's anything significant that you want to talk about during the meeting, we
Yep.
can definitely do that.
no,
Bill, if you want to just note that Cynthia has joined us, at 8:47.
Yep.
Thanks, Cindy. So thoughts, perspectives on the implementation section? They're basically some of the things that we had talked about put into narrative. Cindy, we just went through each of the chapters to see if anyone had any deletions or additions before we send it to planning board and MRPC. And now we're just looking at the final chapter, the implementation chapter, just to see if anyone had any questions, comments, or wanted any changes.
Okay, sorry I'm late.
No worries. We knew that you had something to do this morning.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone is reading, thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reading.
Okay.
You have a priority column that is completely empty.
Yes. So I think I mentioned in there that a view of the recommendations by the appropriate elected officials, boards, committees, department heads, other stakeholders to prioritize the recommendation and assign owners. So we have which entity would be responsible, but not the priority level, so that could be left to like all the ones that would be for the Board of Selectmen or all the ones that would be for planning board that they would prioritize. So should I be more explicit with that, Bill?
I don't see the purpose for having it in, yes, they have to prioritize it, but they're not going to go back and edit our document or reset the intention. I mean, why is there a column in our document if we're not setting that priority?
I don't know. I was trying to be helpful and give them a document to start with. I can take out that column.
I don't know. It sounds like we have an unfinished document. Just saying
With
that
that,
it's
okay.
not our document.
Okay.
It's strange to me.
Okay. Nope. No problem. I can take that column out. Okay. We're sort of on the fence on that one, so glad you made the choice. Anything else about that section needing work or changes?
I think
I
it's
guess,
nice.
yeah. I had the question, getting to the consistency of looking at, on the charging stations, we have TBA in there, kind of like, I don't know if that looks unfinished or,
Oh, acronym, Towns and Business Association. Let me
okay,
add the acronym.
okay, I don't know, that's,
Yep.
TBA is probably further up in the acronyms.
Okay.
I was thinking it was to be assigned.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
they got
I'll
a
change
grant.
that right now.
Yeah.
Yep, that's very valid. Okay. Got that? All right. Anyone finding anything else in there that we should address?
No, but I think it's a good way to end the document because it's really
Mhm.
boils down to a bullet list of actions at the end. You know, I imagine a number of people will skim through the document and then look at that list.
Right. Right. And see if their board or committee or department pops up at all.
Exactly. I already looked for Squanicook Greenway, so
Oh. And I think we've talked about that this has to be a living document. It just can't sit. Otherwise it's not helpful. Okay,
So
so
a really small comment on the document.
Yes.
When I zoomed in on the pictures, they were all heavily compressed, even at the 6 megabyte Word
Yes.
document you sent out. So what's it going to be the final? I know with open space, Karen eventually decided I'm just going to break it into individual chapters so that I can have nice high resolution thing without having a 150 megabyte document. What's your thoughts?
yeah, I think that we probably do need to do that. Or that we just have the web document, and then all the maps separate. So I think there's multiple ways to do it. I know I like the option of being able to download a document in its entirety, and just have it as one document. Some people prefer the chapters, I whatever is the will of the committee is fine, but we do have to address that. I suppose that would have been a general discussion topic.
Okay.
But as part of that, I had asked everybody to look at example 1 and example 2 of how to even address the layout. Do you want the maps in the small, call out in the part of the discussion, which is example 1, or example 2, just the map on the next page as a whole map?
I mean, it's just normal documents. You only have one version of the figure and you occasionally have to look for it. I
Yeah,
think if you have a call out document, people are going to assume that that's the only document and then they'll come across the other one. And it's, all our maps are so complex that a little call out document are going to be illegible even at. So I think just the standard, just find the map
Okay.
if you're interested.
Okay.
and have a high resolution version. That's my thought. I don't know if
Okay.
anybody else disagrees.
So map 2, Don, did you have a preference?
I guess I don't have a preference. I was just wondering if the master file has it, and then we create a PDF for that in the reduced format. So that you have the master file, which is like your Word document, which has the higher resolution stuff, and then posted from that, you print and create a PDF.
Oh, okay, so you're talking about how to deal with it in its entirety.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
that's a
was-
good idea. That is a good idea, that we have the chapters with the high res and then one PDF with the low res if someone wants it that way.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no problem with having a high resolution and a low resolution, and they can
Right,
on how much-
choose.
Mhm.
choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so, thanks, Donna. That was a good suggestion. Now, Karen, we're just talking about the examples map, example 1, example 2, the call out, or not. Bill's preference is to do just the one single map on a page. And as he said, people can find it if they're interested in it.
I agree with that.
Okay. I actually like that too, even though I sent you 2 examples. Example 2 was my preference, so I don't know that it necessarily needs a vote. But as long as everyone's comfortable with that, we'll do it with example 2A with just the full page map. Okay. So then there's just a few things in the document I wanted to call to everybody's attention. One is Beth still there? There's her face is gone, but it looks like she's still there. There you are, Beth. We had talked about at one of the meetings that we really wanted that table, table 7.1. Any success in getting that in Word so that we could get that inserted into our document from the MVP report?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, yes, definitely. I can send that right over this morning.
Okay, excellent. So that was one thing that we can check off our list. And then the next,
I can send it to you right now.
oh, the Word copy. I was having a hard time. You'd asked in one of the revisions, Beth, you had asked us to put the entire text here. And we'll put it in an appendix, but I kept trying to get the online version. I kept trying to copy it and get it in Word, and I couldn't for the accessory apartment. I don't know. That's a new ask.
So I think one of the board members had mentioned putting the entire bylaw in there. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah,
Yes.
that's totally at the, it's totally at the decision of the committee, whatever.
Well, we'd like to put it in. I just couldn't, from the online version, I couldn't get it to transfer nicely into Word.
Do you know how to go into eCode?
Yes.
Yeah, that has a Word version you can download from,
How come
from eCode.
Okay, I downloaded it in PDF and tried to change it. Okay, let me go
Oh
back in
yeah,
there.
it's super easy, super easy. So you just
Okay.
go in, yeah, you have an
You-
option to download it in Word or in, but double check, you may need to be an admin. So let me know if you can't do it, and as a municipal user, I can do it for you and send it to you.
Okay.
So it's in Word.
Okay,
Just don't make any
yes.
edits that, right?
Yeah, no. So I tried and couldn't. So
Okay.
it
I'll do
must
it
be
then.
because, yeah, if you could do it, that would be great. That makes me
Okay.
feel better that I totally didn't miss it in Word.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Yes, no, I won't make any changes. We'll put it right in there.
Sorry,
And
Kim, what
then-
report were you talking about? I missed that. What is Beth sending you?
She's gonna send me from the MVP report, table 7-1.
Right, I got that. Yep.
And then she's gonna send me the text of the 2019 accessory apartment bylaw.
Okay.
Planning board wanted that in. We'll put that in an appendix. There is, what is the real name of the apartment on Dudley Road if you're coming off Brookline Street on the right-hand side? Does anybody know? Okay, do I have permission when I find that out to change that? Anyone have
Yes.
any heartache if I
have
change
no
that out of a
problem with that.
meeting? Okay,
I mean, that seems like a minor edit that we give you permission to make on the entire document.
Okay. Um, this, I'm still waiting for this number. Beth, I don't know if you can check with maybe Lori on that. It's the number of units produced since the affordable housing plan.
Okay, I need more specificity. What's that word?
Oh,
It's
yes,
too
'cause
early.
you- Sorry, because I'm not screen sharing. No one knows. Okay, so on page 73, when I send you this,
Okay,
it reads, in December 2005, the Department of Housing and Community Development approved Townsend's affordable housing plan, which set a goal of producing 275 affordable units by 2020. Of this goal, there were, and we have just X units produced.
okay, I can get that for you. I will send that over to the Townsend Housing Authority and
Okay,
um,
wonderful.
get that figure.
Okay. Does the rest of the committee agree that that's just a small
Yeah, that's just an
Yeah.
edit.
change?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The other one for Beth was the open space. It was listed at, let me just find that particular one. You were gonna check on the number of acres and the number of parcels.
Number of acres and number of parcels purchased since when, between when?
I'm gonna just find that exact page for you. Must have. Inadvertently deleted a comment. While I'm just looking for that particular number, Beth, when is the next meeting of Mass Planning Board?
On November 8th.
Okay. Okay, it is on page number. If you're looking at it in the document, 53. If you're looking at the bottom of the page, it's going to be like 5 pages less. But it's where it says, in addition, the Mass Department of Fish and Wildlife has been actively purchasing parcels in Townsend, including 9 parcels totaling over 425 acres. We were double checking for the new purchase, if that was included. We had a question about that.
Okay, so the timeline is, what is the timeline? What's the start point of that figure of 9 parcels?
I think
And,
that's in total.
okay, and you want to know
Yeah.
whether the most recent acquisitions are included?
Correct.
And do you know when the cutoff date is for this figure, if you will? You don't, or you do, or? You know what I
When did
mean?
we all decide, right? Up until
I
August
thought it
1,
was
we weren't gonna-
September 30th. Was that right?
Oh, I guess I mean this figure here, this 9 parcels. When was this documented, if you will? When did somebody come up with 9 parcels? What date?
So it would have been what we were using up until like January of this year.
Okay, January of 2020. And
Yeah.
where did you get that figure?
You're gonna ask me that now, right?
I
So I have
know,
to
right?
look to where I found that from.
I know. I want to go digging
Um,
where you went digging.
Right. But I think it's just, if we just look at the point in time, as of July 30 of this year, how many parcels did they have and what's the total acreage? I think will be good.
Okay, and when MRPC prepared your open space map, you're wondering whether or not, or did they prepare a map with these parcels?
Yeah, so that's what I think that's what I think we need to double check on, Beth, is to
Okay,
find out if the newest acquisition up on West Meadow is included in this number. Where I think if
Okay.
we look now to see how many parcels and how many acres, we'll get that answer.
okay, so I could just go to MRPC then, because they made the map
Yeah.
recently, and just ask them if it was or was not included. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay, sorry.
No, I gotcha.
Okay. Those were all the outstanding items, other than one photo that is in some documentation on Indian Hill that I've got to put in there. The biggest thing is now just finalizing in the water chapter the recommendations.
Yep.
So if we could all turn to the natural and cultural resources part of our document and look at water, and if we can, you know, we don't have any other input at this point, but what would be the priorities for the water department?
So this is page 25.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're looking online, Bill, it's page 31. If you're looking at the paper, it's page 25.
Right, I'm looking at the paper.
Okay. I see two, but I really want others' thoughts on this.
You see two recommendations.
I do.
So there's a paragraph that says the highest priority needs in the water system are to, isn't this our highest priority things that we recommend?
Yes, those are the two
Mhm.
that I see.
Yep.
So what I was saying, I see two, those are the two, but like I've said, I just, you know, this is not my strength at all. But if we just want to list those two, we certainly can, but you know, Don, you're a little bit closer of it. I was hoping that Todd would pop out some, you know, recommendations that he saw. I don't know if, you know, there's anything related to testing that should be in the recommendations.
I mean, between testing and right now the prioritization for the PFAS and putting together a facility that can filter out those contaminants is really where we seem to be going. And in addition, getting that Main Street well, which is now online, was a priority at the time. It's kind of like,
Okay.
I guess, you know, getting that new Main Street well online is no longer a priority. That work was completed.
Okay.
But
So
you
if
know,
that's
putting-
completed, we should say that in here. If that Main Street well field was completed. So why don't we change that sentence?
okay, yeah, I'm trying to think of when that came online, because we had used the July 1st date as when we were going to have information. For
I
this,
think it was July 30th, but
30th. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Let me go get the details of when that came online.
okay,
Um,
okay.
and then we can put it as a, the completed action that it's online. And again, I think, where it's new, it still needs to be continually monitored so that, that gets to the testing phase and make sure that the water quality is protected.
So Don, I'm confused here. I mean, there's an issue with finding the PFAS chemical in
Yep.
in the Townsend Harbor well there. Is
Mhm.
that issue now solved? Is that what you're saying?
It is not solved. What they did is they, it was kind of like to address it, they reduced use, number one. Number two, they expedited getting the Main Street well online and
Right.
have now discontinued the use of the Townsend Harbor well. It doesn't mean that we won't need that for future. So getting a facility that can filter out the PFAS and bring that back online would be one of their priorities, so that there's extra capacity in the event that another well maybe shows it. It's kind of like, so it continues.
So do we mention PFAS in this document?
We do.
All right.
About 4
Is
paragraphs.
that why, Don, it says a well cleaning and development plan for all wells?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, so maybe that's the piece that we have to, it is definitely the recommendation and put forward.
okay,
And, it's going to be probably way more expensive than we can put in the budget. So we're going to be needing to look for the state and federal maybe for some grant money to help.
okay.
Okay.
So sounds like the priority might be continue the 119 water main replacement project,
Mhm.
rehab the Highland Street tank. And I had asked several times because I didn't understand this sentence, but I finally took the comment out, but I still don't understand it. Rehab the Highland Street tank and placement of the Highland Street water main. What does that mean? Placement of the Highland Street water main. And because there weren't commas in here,
Mhm.
I couldn't figure out whether it says continue work on the 119 water main replacement project and rehab the Highland Street tank and placement. Should it be separate projects? 119 main replacement project, comma,
Yes.
rehab the Highlands, okay.
Yep.
So let's
Yep.
make those changes. Okay. And so when it says placement of the Highland Street water main, does that mean just putting it in there? So installation versus placement?
No, I think there's already a water main, but they would be relocating it.
Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. And instead of placement, I'm gonna write relocating. Okay. Okay. And so that each one of those would be a priority.
So Kim, can you read back the water priorities, or are you finished discussing them?
Yeah, I'm writing them down.
Okay, when you get them all written down, just read them back and then we'll vote to
Yeah.
include those, because that's sort of a major change. So I think we should vote on it.
Yes. Okay. So the sentence now reads that the highest priority need in the water system was to replace the Main Street tubular well field with gravel packed well to assess the cross street well for return to service, continue work on the 119 water main replacement project, rehab the Highland Street tank, and relocation of the Highland Street water main. So the priorities would be the 119 main replacement project, rehab the Highland Street tank, relocate Highland Street water main, develop a well cleaning and development plan for all wells.
So Don mentioned that we needed to get filtering for the PFAS chemical. Which of those recommendations is involved with that?
So I thought that was the well cleaning and development. Maybe it's not.
Is that what it was, Don?
I was thinking it was, so maybe we just need to be more clear about it.
I think we should add that phrase in, because
Yeah.
well cleaning doesn't sound like filtering water.
Yeah, and when I read the paragraph on the PFAS, it doesn't say anything about that. So perhaps it is a well cleaning and development, which I have no idea what that means in water language,
Nor do I.
right? So that's why it's so hard. I don't know, and that's capitalized in there with well capitalized, cleaning capitalized, and development. So to me, I thought that was like a proper thing in the water industry that had a title. Like in here, it also says like source water assessment program. I was thinking that was something like that. But I think this other paragraph, if you're looking on the computer, page 34, if you're looking at your document, it's page 28. I think we actually need to put something about PFAS testing right there.
I mean, if you don't, it's going to pop out, because that is like one of the biggest issues in our town right now.
Yeah.
And so I think we have to be clear, and, if we're recommending adding filtering, then we should be clear about adding filtering.
Is there anything official that the water department has put online to say, other than taking the well offline? Is there anything officially written that says that they're researching a filtration system, which I'm sure is quite expensive, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say the documentation I've been reading put a $20 million price tag on it to start. Just trying to see, the water department has been keeping up.
Yeah, I'm just curious because we could probably just follow their lead on that.
Mhm, yeah.
recommendation.
So I'm feeling like this chapter still needs some work.
Mhm.
Did you get any feedback from Todd at all?
No.
No, and I haven't either. I've tried, in addition, sending it directly to him, asking for input.
And that's part of the reason too. Without when I have been reading this, I still had questions about it. I didn't assign it to anyone out for editing because I still feel like it needs work. I know we've asked Beth. I know if Beth is still on there. Let me look at my camera. Beth, you had asked for the water, for some of the folks to join us at a meeting. Do you happen to know when they meet next, Beth?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Do you happen to know when the water commissioners meet next?
I don't.
Okay.
They typically would post their agendas on the town calendar, correct? I can take a quick check.
Correct.
Yeah, I
I'll
just,
take a quick check right now for you.
okay.
Okay. Mhm.
You know, and even on that information that you just shared about the cost,
Mhm.
that $20 million, like, I feel like that needs to be in the chapter.
Okay.
You know, there was so much about the PFAS going on over the summer
Mhm.
that we
Yeah.
just really need that. I hate to drag you guys into another week of meetings, but I feel like everything is done except for this chapter.
And this is, if it wasn't for the PFAS controversy, I'd let it slide, but this is
Mhm.
just too
Yeah.
high priority to,
Right.
and I don't understand what we're saying, and I'm the master plan committee, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And
Okay.
that's, and even like I said, I had questions about what this means in layman's terms. And Bill, like you, I'm on the master plan committee and I don't understand.
Yep.
So that's not necessarily helpful.
Okay, I did check the town calendar and there are no agendas posted for the Board of Water Commissioners at this time.
Okay.
Can we just call over there and Brenda may have just a short paragraph that she's been telling people when they call. That may be the easiest route at this point.
Mhm.
So I think Karen is saying, Don, can you call over
Yeah.
there?
No, I will.
I'll
will
just be
do
more
that.
direct, Karen.
No, no.
I could do it, but I know Dawn's, Dawn's doing more of the water than I am.
He knows more of the
Yep.
terms.
Right,
No,
exactly.
yeah, I think if I look at the last letter that they had sent out, it even said that if we have questions, as a town resident, the water superintendent said contact him directly. So that it makes perfect sense that I contact him and try to
That'd be
sit down and talk with David to get this straight.
perfect. Well, and then
But
you
would-
can kind of verify about the cleaning of the wells as well, to just
Right.
to make
Yep.
sure that
And
that
and
two
yep.
separate distinct issues.
right. And the placement. And again, I know Highland Street had the water main break a couple of weeks ago, so that's
Right.
probably it's kind of maybe forcing that issue too.
Mhm.
Um,
Perfect. He'll be able to tell you that before the meeting next Wednesday, and we'll be done.
Okay.
Glad I applied for that other meeting.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, so Dawn, would you be able to make sure that we all have it by Monday?
We'll do that.
Okay. So this gives everyone a little bit of additional time to reread the entire document. I'll make all the typo changes because we've decided that those were insignificant changes. You know, it's periods, commas, adding a letter, changing a word. You agree, Dylan? So what else do you feel is lacking or needed? And so Beth, would you be able to put this on the planning board agenda for November 8th?
Yes, what would you like on the agenda for?
That they'll have it to review. You know, if they want to have a work session to review the final document, but we'll send it over to you. Our
Okay.
meeting's the 3rd, so we'll send it to you the 4th. I might
Okay.
have to bring it to you on a thumb drive.
Oh, great. No, absolutely awesome. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll put on the agenda. That's great. So they can have a work session on the 8th to review. And we're
Yeah.
calling this version 2, correct?
Yep, it'll be final draft version 2.
Awesome.
Well, it's actually version 5 right now.
Oh, it
So,
is.
yeah, because of updates that we've had. So it will be version 5.
Okay,
And it will have a date on it as well.
perfect.
But I'm wondering, for the rest of the master plan, should we go ahead and send it over to MRPC now so that she can read everything excepting the water chapter? So we could have her feedback for next week.
Yes, I think that's an excellent idea. This is
Okay.
just
Yes.
too small a change to hold it back from MRPC, which is,
Yeah.
we're
And
just
hopefully
gonna
we'll
change a few
have that
sentences here. So.
third. If you send it over today, keep your fingers crossed that they get it back to us for the 3rd. That would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Does anyone
Yeah.
have anything else for today?
And I should be able to get the answer to your questions for me by the end of the day. So if
Okay.
that helps. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, they're very small changes. Okay. I feel like we're pretty good. Anyone else think that there's anything else glaring or missing? Okay, so we, Bill, I know you had suggested a vote on the changes in the water chapter, but we're probably not going to do that now until we go ahead and get the,
Have to have something to vote on before we can.
yeah,
vote.
get
Right.
that final document.
Not a
So,
little small.
okay. All right. So the to-dos, Bill, your typos, Karen, I'm halfway through your typos. Cindy, thank you. I got all of yours. We'll continue to work on that, obviously. I'll send it over to MRPC. And Dawn, you're gonna get us some insight on that water chapter.
Yep.
Have it back. And if you just want to pull that water chapter out of the document into
Okay.
a separate Word document, so you can send it over to Water easily, then send it back to us easily,
Okay,
that would be super helpful.
will do. And we can,
Okay. Awesome. If there's nothing else, it is now 9:30 and
And I make a motion that we close the meeting at 9:30.
second,
so, Karen? In favor? Cynthia, you in favor? Dawn, Bill,
yes.
Yes.
and I'm in favor. Beth, thanks for joining us. Thanks for helping us
You're
get almost
welcome.
across the finish line.
Great to
And,
see everyone.
We'll close the meeting and we'll see everyone next Wednesday morning.
All right.
Fantastic.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.